Welcome back to another episode of Inside Access Control, sponsored by SIA. Very excited to have Jeff Stanek join me. He's the president and general manager of LenelS2. I've known him for a while. I've been excited to have Jeff join. So thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yeah. Hi, Lee. How are you doing? Glad to come on. I appreciate you extending the invitation. And as you mentioned, I'm Jeff Stanek. I lead LenelS2, which is both OnGuard and NetBox on a global scale. And I'm also, as part of Carrier now, inherited some new responsibilities in managing really the security segment for Carrier.
Yeah, it's been quite the year. Outside of everything going on, the societal side and the pandemic and the rest, you in this role and the expansion of the organization. So quite busy, I'm sure. So we'll jump right into it if you're good with that. And
Yeah.
I guess good, thank you. All right, good. The first topic I wanted to talk to you about was, the security industry. Historically, it's been focused primarily on security. You even mentioned it with the carrier side, but that's been our main value proposition. And with everything that's been going on, all of a sudden now we've expanded into health and efficiencies and even personal health of the individuals that are coming and going from the buildings. Can you speak a little about how your views on it, especially since you all have just introduced the Carrier Healthy Building Program, how you view the new value propositions that are impacting our industry?
Yeah, sure. I mean, certainly we're in unprecedented times, and it's been an interesting year. But I think even before the pandemic hit, you were seeing technologies advance at paces we have not seen in the security space, and solutions more focused on that overall building experience for the occupants. And with that, building management systems that tie together HVAC and security and fire have been around for a while, so that's not necessarily a new concept. But making those making the integrations so seamless that the occupant doesn't know they're there has been a goal of the industry and an effort that LenelS2 has been focused on. And obviously you see with the overall achievement of achieving greater efficiencies in how you use the building and some of the reporting, but as you know, in April, we officially became part of Carrier and a new publicly traded company. And in Carrier, we launched the Healthy Buildings Program. This is a program that really ties together, obviously air quality and ventilation, but fire and security products as well. And for LenelS2 specifically, we're really focused on four areas that we think we can add great benefit to those building tenants. First is on touchless access and our Blue Diamond products, so reducing touch points within the movement throughout the building. Also, occupancy management. We know now that large gatherings can be conducive to spreading the virus further. So how can our platforms help prevent that clustering of folks, and in cases where there may be someone who has been infected, how you can identify who they've come in contact with. And then there's proactive screenings. So self-assessments, trying to get people back to work, get people back to office settings. And in those settings, we just recently announced a collaboration with FLIR Systems. So we've got an integrated solution with OnGuard and a thermal camera that allows them to really, ensure their employees and their visitors are safe and healthy. And then the last piece is really around analytics and reporting. That was something we saw before the pandemic. We know it's a need of the end users that we support, and it's more prevalent now in helping not only create that efficiencies in a building, but keeping their employees safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I totally agree that the sort of phase change acceleration, our industry typically plods these things. They've gone, and some of them, what's nice is, and I know like with your system, especially you guys were early with the Bluetooth side, and the rest is the the utilization of it has gone from like a nice to have to an actual need to have at this point, which I think is a better position for us to be overall anyway. So good for you all for being in that position, and it is an area where you can really flex and take advantage of.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So on that though, too, is you mentioned with the combination with carrier and really around the efficiency side, we've been writing about at least what we're trying to call it, if you would, it's like the operating system of the building, where we're going away from all of these siloed systems that are, you know, just taking care of whatever it is, and then hoping there's some integration or maybe some back net, you know, for some of for those of us that remember when that was a thing, right? Which I know it's still a thing, but still, you're starting to see, I think, the real true of what, like when we talk about IoT and integrations of systems and value creation. I guess, what's your view from the LenelS side, S2 side, of how you're participating in this idea around these operating systems a bit more? So and especially with being part of carrier, you have a unique value prop that you can bring that others maybe can't.
Sure. Yeah. It's, I mean, it all starts with the platform and allowing the availability of the APIs and accessibility to that platform. And you know, that's been one of the principles in the growth in the history of Lenel and now LenelS2. When I look at the platform today, we have over 200 fully vetted and tested integrations into that platform. And those things, you know, have been traditionally, you know, HR databases and ERPs, and they've moved more to really around analytics and reporting, as well as building experiences. So when you look at our you know, partnership or collaboration, or now we're part of carrier, obviously you go to the HVAC systems and what we can do around data analytics, and using air quality to create healthy environments for those building occupants. But you know, you really see areas, when I talk to end users today, they're all trying to solve specific situations. For example, how to get folks back in the building with a checkpoint to make sure that they're healthy, whether it's taking their temperature, whether it's a questionnaire, whether it's you know, some other checkpoint. So one of the things that we've done in a short amount of time is create this solution called entry point control. And if you picture a large enterprise customer, maybe a headquarter campus, you've got many entry points to that door, but you don't want to set up those stations to every area. So with this, we're able to control access, shut it down, have them go through the entry point, and then seamlessly open up that access again once they've got their health check. So that's just one example of things that is happening. There's all sorts of progress when you talk into the HVAC around air quality and air ventilation. One of the stats that I heard recently that I was just blown away by is as you know, today we spend about 90% of our time inside, whether it be your home, whether it be a building, whether it be a grocery store, 90% of time. So things like air quality, things like safety and security have always been important. Fire prevention, life safety type technologies, all that's important, you know, given the amount of time we're spending indoors.
Yeah, it can feel a little creepy sometimes.
Yes,
being inside that much, but when you think back, you can see that. But what's interesting, some of the things that you said that triggers me to think about, you know, how the security systems have progressed. Right before, when things would, as you talked about, there'd be an event that we would have to lock doors. It was lockdown, right, and it was primarily keeping bad people out and things like that. Now it's actually that's how it's impacting on the health side and being redefined. What we define things that have historically been attributes of our systems that are now being leveraged in different areas that are adding more value, which I think in the end is a better place for us to be as an overall industry, of adding more value across all those things instead of just keeping bad people out.
Well, and the other thing is the end users are demanding it today. I mean, when I look at my boys, they grow up on their phones and they do everything, you know, with mobile technology. And, you know, whether it's setting up a bank account, or whether it's, going to the grocery store, or whether it's, being in a building, they want to use that technology. And so we have to adapt, and we have to make solutions that make it easy for them to leverage that.
Absolutely. All right. So last question, I'll let you get out of here because I know you got a bunch of stuff that you got to take care of. But
Okay.
so we've written a lot about this idea of moving from access control to access care. I saw in your press releases and that you've gone out, and even the quote, you've talked about trust and care sort of being part of it as well. And then, but as an industry, trust has been there. I would say that the care side is new to us, even though we may have done it, but not as direct, right? It was safety and security on that side. So how do you see trust and care now influencing the industry and, in fact, your products and services? How do you see that coming to market?
Yeah, I think when you're in the security industry, you always have a duty of care. I mean, our high level responsibility is to keep people safe, collectively as an industry. And I think we've worked hard, many different manufacturers, integrators, and technologies have worked hard to develop that. But I think you look at big, big milestones, and unfortunately some of them tend to be unfavorable. Like you go back to 9/11, and that changed everything we were doing. And we all had a common goal to increase our duty of care, to increase security of the spaces that we live in and work in. And the pandemic is another one of those. And our duty of care is raised in that environment. And I think it's important for all of us. It's not only about safety now, but it's also about creating healthier environments, reducing the touch points so you can reduce the spread of germs and viruses. It's about developing protocols and processes around managing the flow of building occupants. It's practicing social distancing and all the CDC things, and we can be endorsers of that. This pandemic has impacted all of us, and all of us need to be part of the solution. We're all in this together. When we moved our entire workforce to remote environment back in March, and I have to admit we did so seamlessly. I was very pleased. I didn't know how it was going. That had never been done before. When you do those types of things, it's about the safety of your employees. But in my opinion, it's just the duty of care. And for us, LenelS2 has been doing this for 30 years, almost 30 years now. And, being a trusted partner is something that we take seriously and always have. It's been a critical component of our vision and mission as a business. And so you add care on that. And I think care has always been in the background, so to speak, and it's been brought to the foreground. So.
Yeah, no, that's, if you try to find certain, it's like silver linings of positive that come out of horrific events like this, if care does come out of the foreground to the front and is now a centerpiece of things that people talk about, whether both also too, it's like, it's not just on the customer side, but like you said, your own employees end of it, that's a positive that I don't think we can say is bad.
And you see end users asking you questions and wanting solutions that demonstrate that they have this duty of care, so it's interesting times.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. If people want to find out more information about LenelS2, the carrier program, the Healthy Buildings program, where's the best place to do that?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a non-traditional one. You'd think it'd be LenelS2.com, but no, it's I'm going to send you to corporate.carrier and then Healthy Buildings. There's a lot of good content in there, content on specific verticals and how we're addressing those, as well as content on the other products and solutions that Carrier has.
Well, thank you. I know, like we said, you've got a lot going on. It's a privilege to have you come on. Congratulations to you in the new position that you're in and everything you're doing. But it's great to have you're like your companies you move mountains in the industry. You guys are everywhere. So having you all come on to share, I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to many more opportunities like this. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate the time, and congrats on you. I think this is it's a great forum to get our messages out across the industry and talk together. So I appreciate you creating the forum.
Good. No problem. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
You too.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.